Mike Zawadsky asked, what is your favorite memory from starting your business? And what's something that you thought would be easy but ended up being challenging? So it's kind of a two-parter.
Oh.
Mike throws these hard ones.
Geez, Mike, you know, even in our regular life, Mike is someone who makes me think. He's actually a friend of mine. So something I thought would be easy that turned out to be hard. I feel like I need to marinate on that for a moment. But my favorite memory from starting my business, like all the way from starting my business till now, because my favorite memory is definitely like, I don't remember which March it was, but many years ago when Nikon called me and said, hey, we liked your talk when you came to speak for us. We appreciate your work and your work ethic and all of that. And you look kind of fun on stage. They didn't say it like that. They were very sweet and asked me to be an ambassador. And obviously I was like, what is there to think about? That wasn't the moment. The moment was right after that, Mike Corrado, who's the one who called me to tell me, he was like, you can't tell anyone. And I was like, Corrado, I got to call my dad. He's like, all right, just your dad. So I called my dad, and my dad was super proud. And like, he's an Indian dad. He's not like big on I love yous and I'm proud of yous. And he was like, I'm so proud of you. I was like, yes. I finally got one. So that was a good one. That's definitely a favorite memory from this career. Something that I thought,
I'm not sure anybody who's watching this actually understands the impact of your ambassadorship with Nikon. You know, the fact. Do you want to share that, because it's a big deal for the photography industry?
Was their first woman of color, and I was the first woman of color, or one of the first women of color, or especially like visibly women of color for across camera brands. And then I'm really loud and very annoying, and that has changed a lot. I am no longer, being the first is cool and everything, but being the only is terrible, because people just think you're an outlier and that you're not really supposed to be where you are. And that is no longer the case. Audrey Willard is an Icon ambassador. Kesha Lambert is an ambassador for a camera brand. There are so many amazing women and women of color that are out here just killing it. And I am so proud of everyone. It's really, really exciting. It's exciting because when I started, there was nobody who looked like me to be someone to look up to. Like, it just didn't exist. And it's very, very different now. And that's exciting. Yeah.
I'm honored to have come to know you over the past few months, because you are an amazing person, and everything you've gotten, you well deserved. So
thank you. I still don't know about this. Something that I thought would be easy that was hard. I don't know. I don't think I ever expect anything to be easy. That's the challenge. I'm always expecting resistance, and I maybe go into every situation ready to, like a bull in a china shop.
Okay, so I'll ask one that's sort of, let's say, something that a lot of wedding photographers worry about when they're first starting out. Have you ever stumbled when interacting with a in-law during an event, right? So like the mother of the bride or the mother of the groom, let's say, who might be overwhelming or intimidating, to some people?
I mean, for the most part, no, because I am their personality, that like big personality. So when a mother-in-law has big personality, I'm like, ma'am, game meets game, okay?
That's it. And that's why I asked, because I knew that you could handle it, but I figured, hey, throw it out there.
There was one memorable time that I remember being really frustrated, and it's couple had hired me instead of my normal coverage for like a very specific set of hours, which is totally fine with me. However, I'm a human being, and you hired me not as your servant and not as your, I don't know. There's an attitude that some people can have towards their wedding vendors that we are disposable, replaceable, not human beings. Like not, we're there to just do what they say. And the couple was not like that. Couple was super kind. But the groom's dad had expectations that were unrealistic. And one of them was that they do table shots. And the hours that I was there for didn't allow for that. So I worked with the DJ and I was like, what we're going to do is ask everybody to gather in front of their table and we're going to play one song and the couple's going to go from table to table and we're going to do these table shots. And it's actually cleaner, right? Because if you go to each table, there's always somebody in the bathroom or whatever. And like, I don't do table shots ever. So this is the first time doing them in like a decade. And it was also the last time I did them. But I agreed to do it just because I saw the groom was so stressed out at his dad being that demanding. And so we did them and everybody was happy and it was like a really fun experience and it was done in 3.5 minutes because it was one song and me and the couple went from table to table and took this picture and it was good. And afterwards, when I was leaving, the dad was like, what are you doing? And I was like, I'm heading out. And he's like, I'm really unhappy with this. That was too fast. The guests feel so disposable and you're leaving now? Like, you should be here till the end. And I was like, well, I wasn't paid to stay here till the end, so I'm leaving now. Like, I was paid to stay here till 9:30 and it's 9:45 and I'm out. And I said it as calmly and as nicely as I could, but the way he spoke to me was so, you know, and it's fine. And like, it's fine in so much as like, I stood my ground and I'm not doing anything I'm not supposed to do for myself. Like you don't have to value me, but I value me. So I'm still leaving at 9:30 and I left. And then afterwards the couple they apologized, but then they also were like, any chance we can get the raw files? And I was like, you can buy the raw files. And they didn't. But that was an awkward experience. And it's one that like, you can have like 30 amazing weddings and love what you do. And then you get one like that and you're like, forget it. I quit. Like, I just don't want to do this anymore. But luckily,
I would definitely say that. Sorry, go ahead.
I try not to let those moments like bring me down too far.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. That's a situation that I could see a lot of wedding photographers completely stumble and just cave in and just do it, right? So it's good that you stood your ground and did the right thing for sure.
I mean, even as a human being, forget our business, right?
Yeah.
Even as a human being, you have value, and to allow people to speak to you that way and then capitulate. If they yell at you that way, if they treat you that way, and then you do what they say, you're rewarding that behavior. And I'm not interested. I'm not. Right. For the next vendor they work with, I hope that I did that next person a solid by standing my ground.